Get Yomtiv.
Get Yomtiv, get Yomtiv.
So Yomtiv and a colorful Sachen, the liliv, the esrig, the sukkah, a lot of smells where Pinch comes in to play a big role, and wine, of course. Ein simcha lebiyayin, evabusa. So I'll let you take the floor.
Welcome back to another episode, guys, of Wine and Spice. Today we're going to be preparing a beautiful Sukkot dish. It's something that a lot of you have been requesting, and we appreciate you guys reaching out to us personally and saying we're looking for something to do on Yom Tov that is unique, it's different, it's not terribly difficult, and as you'll see as you stay to watch the rest of this video, it's not difficult, we can do it. So we're gonna be making today barbecue ribs. It's really delicious, it's really simple. We're gonna pair it really nicely with some beautiful broccolini, and we're gonna make a real nice sweet potato mash. So come along and join us on this one. It's going to be amazing.
And the idea why we picked this one is because a lot of times by the meal, your wife or mother or your sister is outside in the kitchen and busy cooking while everybody else is sitting in the sukkah and having this amazing time. So this, what Mechi explained me, that this
we cook it before. So meaning to say we can cook this a day before Yom Tov, 2 days before Yom Tov, have it in the fridge, and then Yom Tov morning you come, you pop it in the oven, it warms up, you serve it,
and you now drink wine in the sukkah like everybody else.
The label,
it's a little out there, but it's a noise sukkah. That's what we do in this.
It looks exactly like the Spiesen, you know, all the different colors and the stuff. It looks like a perfect match for kids. All the arts and crafts that your kids bring home from school, it's gonna match perfectly with this wine label.
So this wine is something different. The grape is called Tannat. It's high in tannin, high in acid, pretty high in alcohol. It's over 14%. It will hold up this chilled, cold, beautiful sukkah with the amazing food that Mechi is going to make, and it's high on life. Get yourself a decanter and get yourself a bottle of Tannat. We made a very limited amount of it, literally 1 barrel, so grab a bottle while you can. I'm just saying.
So this is a rack of ribs. We're gonna flip it over, and with any knife, your home knife or a good chef's knife, we're gonna score the backside. What we're doing here is because this is a very tough tendon. This whole piece in the back is very tough. So we're gonna score it, so it's gonna let the meat separate and cook much better. Now we're going to add some of our delicious Clos Mesorah olive oil to the top. And that's gonna act like a binder. A lot of people put mustard, a lot of people put different stuff. As a binder is basically, it's something that's going to glue the seasoning to the beef. It's gonna hold it on. So sometimes a lot of it falls off. So we're gonna use our delicious olive oil as a binder. Check this out. So, today we're gonna be using the Pinch Boss Brisket Rub. This is the exact flavor. There's nothing else that we're gonna need to add to this recipe over here that's in the bottle to the beef. You can use it on ribs, you could use it on your brisket, your French roast, your short ribs, your flanken, anything that you're making for Yom Tov in your house, you're gonna wanna use this Pinch Boss Brisket Rub. It is perfect amount of savory, sweet, and all that flavors packed into a bottle. Get this bottle and you're gonna try it and you'll tell me afterwards how much you like it. So we're gonna go ahead and season it generously on both sides of the beef. Meat is scored, meat is seasoned. We're gonna go ahead and place it into a 9x13. I like to double it, but sometimes these 9x13s are questionable how strong they are. So just for security purposes, I like to double it. We're gonna transfer it into our beckel, see if it fits really nice. And we're gonna go ahead and put this into a 400-degree oven, which I preheated mine. You should preheat yours when you're doing this recipe. 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, a half an hour, with nothing else. No water, no cover, uncovered. We want to roast it. We want it to caramelize. We want that Maillard reaction what happens is the beef has natural sugars and fats, and it's going to start rendering and getting that perfect, beautiful brown candied color on top. After that, we're going to close it and steam it and bake it for the rest of the time. But first, for the first half an hour, you want to get it to a nice color on top, and then stick along, we'll show you how to do it. To another episode of Wine and Spice.
If you never had this grape, which a lot of you probably didn't, you can make a tova amaita for sure on it. This wine, I'll take the floor.
Wow! Every episode that we do, we're upping our game, we're upping our wines here.
But you should know the hard part is pairing it with the food. This is a big wine.
It's a big wine for a nice big meal with big components like that beef and the sweet potato. It's going to fit in so nicely. You'll be sitting in the sukkah. It'll be a couple of flies buzzing around, but you're sitting around the table. It's going to be a cold one this year, right?
Because this is perfect.
Wow. Okay, we're going to start off and we're going to go ahead with our sweet potato mash. Now, sweet potato mash is fairly simple. People make it all the time, but we're going to make it a little different. We're gonna make a little yontif dig. We're gonna make a little restaurant style. We're gonna make a little fancy. So it's about 3 potatoes for 5 people. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slice our potatoes. Always be careful of your fingers. Use a good sharp knife. We're gonna dice them up. Try to dice them. They can be bigger, smaller, but as long as they're fairly even, they'll cook the same time. And we're gonna put it into our pot. We're going to fill up the pot with water. You want it to cover, and that's that. Now, we're going to season it with some of this Tuscanini sea salt. Basically, what we want is when we're cooking the sweet potato, we want the salt to go inside, because what happens is if we put salt when we're done, yeah, it's going to get on the outside, but we want the sweet potato to get that, bring out the flavor. Just gonna season up with a little bit of this. Put it on a medium heat and cover it. Let it boil, let it cook. Check it in about 15-20 minutes to a half an hour with a fork. If it's fork tender and the fork goes in easy, ready to go. Okay, so we have our beef in the oven, we got our sweet potato cooking. Let's get prepping on our broccolini.
I thought that because I'm like a little kid when it comes to cooking, he said broccolini. Is it because of that, or is it the same thing as broccoli?
No.
It looks a little longer.
Right, so this is broccolini. Broccolini is basically, it's a cross between broccoli and Asian kale. It's very nice and leafy, has a longer stem, so it's a little more nicer presentable. The broccoli stem is a little fibrous, so it's a little tough. So one way of doing it is cooking up a pot of water and seasoning it with salt, and blanching it is you dunk it in the water for 10 to 15 seconds until it's soft. You take it out and then you continue on with the roasting process. But we're gonna do a little different, a little bit more like restaurant style. So we're gonna cut it off right there. We don't need it too long. We want that nice branch. We're gonna take a potato peeler and we're gonna peel off some of this edges, which is going to help us with the fiber, removing some of that fibrous outer skin, and it's going to be really nice. Like here, I prepared some of these. It also has that fine restaurant touch. Every piece of broccoli was cared for, it's manicured. It has that touch about it. So cut them down to like a nice size length. It doesn't look like a broccoli. It still looks like a broccolini, but it's going to be nice and soft.
It's like a little flour on your plate.
It's a little flour on your plate. It's delicious.
Wow, the wine, try it again. It opened up so beautiful. And you know why I'm excited? Yeah, I've tasted powerful wines before, but it's not sweet. It's just a big, beautiful wine that the alcohol doesn't bother me and the tannin doesn't bother me, the acid doesn't, it blends so beautiful together. He's doing the wee thing and I'm doing this wee thing. And together, we are definitely doing something.
Now we're gonna go ahead and season it. We're gonna put on some delicious Clos Mesorah olive oil. Season it generously with olive oil. You want that to get nicely coated. I'm gonna go ahead and crush a couple garlic cloves. And we're gonna mix it all together afterwards. So no worries about that where it's landing now. That was about 3 cloves of garlic, which is gonna be perfect for this amount that we're doing. Now we're gonna go ahead and season it with the 3 Seasons blend for Pinch, which is amazing on every vegetable, every kind of dish that you're making to finish off, to top it off. It's basically the everything spice of everything. Now we're gonna go ahead and really massage everything in together, and there you have it. Now lay them out so they get evenly roasted. We're gonna put it into 400-degree oven. We're gonna put it in for 10 minutes and we're gonna check it. So for people that are making this before Yom Tov, you can roast this before Yom Tov, or you can do it on the spot on Yom Tov. You can peel it and clean it and have it ready, and then
You can.
they can. They can do this on Yom Tov, or if you want, you can pre-roast it. Just roast it a little bit. Get a little color on them, achar, take it out, and then just warm it up Yom Tov together with the beef, and you're ready to go. You got a dish ready to go. So we're gonna put this in the oven now for 10 minutes, and we'll check on it. We're gonna make now something that's, I said before, we're gonna make our sweet potato mash a little bit different, a little more Yom Tov-dig, a little more dig. We're gonna make a pot of butter sauce that once the sweet potatoes are done, we're gonna pour over and mash together with the sweet potato. It's gonna be with brandy and truffles. It's gonna be not too much, and if you are afraid to use brandy in your house, you can watch the process.
Come on in and talk to us.
You can watch the process and get that confidence you need, or you can do it without this time, and the next time you can do it, but the brandy is optional. We're gonna put in a little truffle. We're gonna have some non-dairy butter, some brown sugar, some oil, some cinnamon, and some 3 Seasons spice. So we got from Toscanini this beautiful sliced black truffles that we've used in the past, and we know it's delicious. It's really great. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take out a couple of pieces. I'm gonna finely dice it up. So I just have all my stuff ready, and then we'll head over to the fire. We'll make a butter sauce. Oh, we got our timer on our broccolini. Let's check it out.
So how do you check it? You taste it?
So it's not too thin, not too thick, not too thin. We see a little bit caramelization, little crispy edges going on. We want to leave it like this because the more you're going to do it, the more it's going to get wilted and burnt. So this is perfect for us. It's cooked, it's ready. We're going to set it to the side, let it cool, and we'll get back to this later. Okay, so we're going to make a bourbon infused, like we said, bourbon infused sweet potato mash with this beautiful flavored bourbon, Mark's Mile. We're not going to use a lot. We're just going to get a splash of it. Just, I would say about less than 1/4 cup. We're gonna turn on the fire and we're gonna let it cook, come to a boil, and let the alcohol evaporate, because we're not looking for the alcohol here. We're looking for the flavor. We're looking for that caramel flavor of the barrel and everything that comes in this. Maybe Moishe can tell us a little bit about this bourbon.
It comes from Nashville. The guy that I made this whiskey is, when you talk to somebody, you know that he knows what he's talking about. Not just, it's like when you look at Mechi, you know that he knows how to cook, and you know that he knows every ingredient. You know that he's probably reading at night about different, all different broccolis and where it comes from and when it grows. And this guy is a scientist when it comes to whiskey. I was so impressed with him. And we're doing another one now with a different label, like a blue, and we're gonna do a cast strength. Have you walked a mile in Mark's shoe? That's the idea. And after we finish the wine, you'll taste it and you'll tell me yourself.
So as the bourbon is coming up to a boil, it's also going to reduce a little bit, and it's also going to cook out that alcohol.
It smells delicious.
So we reduced it by half, just by cooking for a few minutes. It's down to maybe 2 tablespoons. Now we're going to go ahead and add in half a stick of non-dairy butter, just like that. We're also going to be adding in some delicious Clos Mesorah olive oil. You can do just olive oil if you want, but I like to add in the butter with the olive oil. I think it just adds layers and layers of flavor. Just like that. And once the butter is melted, now it's going to infuse with that delicious bourbon flavor. There's no alcohol there now, it's just flavor.
So much smell.
And we got another timer going off. So let's go ahead and quickly check our ribs while that is going on. So, as you see it now, I'm gonna put the timer back on for another 15 minutes. I want a little more crisp on it.
Whatever he says.
So our butter, our oil, and our whiskey is infused, our bourbon is infused. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in this delicious Tuscanini truffles. We're gonna go in, we have today this Geffen ground cinnamon. You can put in, if you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to add this. I like just different layers of flavor. We're gonna add not too much cinnamon. We wanna put maybe a tablespoon cinnamon. We're gonna do 1 spoonful of light brown sugar. And for the seasoning of the sweet potato, we're gonna finish it off with the 3 Seasons blend from Pinch. Give it a nice, that's gonna add that garlicky and the salt and the pepper that it's gonna need. Smell that, it smells like a bakery with the butter and the brown sugar and all that truffles. Now we don't need to cook this for a long time. It's been like about 40 seconds, 30, 40 seconds. We're gonna shut the fire. And once our sweet potatoes are ready and drained, we're gonna add this in and fold it in. So our sweet potato is ready. We're gonna go ahead to the sink, we're gonna drain it.
He's gonna go.
Get all that water out. And then what I like to do is, because there is still some moisture and water in there and I don't want it to be too watery, follow me, we'll go back to the fire. No water, back onto the flame, on a high flame, no water, no nothing, but the residual water that's in the sweet potato is gonna boil out really quick right now. We're gonna leave it on here for about a minute. You hear that? There's the water on the bottom. See how much water is still left? It's going to cook out because we want it to be a more nice puree versus a wet, loose.
That's a good hack.
Yeah, it's a little trick that you can do at home.
So are you ever hungry?
Me? No. So we dried out our sweet potato. We got our butter, parve, with our bourbon and brown sugar and truffles. Now, I have my handy dandy potato masher. You guys at home, if you have a potato ricer or a different kind of masher, or just a fork, it works. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mash the potatoes, and then we're gonna slowly start adding our butter to see how much we need. Sweet potato also has a lot of fibers inside that the more you mash it, the more nice texture you're gonna get. Or you could do it in a machine, a Ninja blender or a stick blender. All those options work. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste to see if we're missing any salt or something in flavor. The bourbon is here. Truffle is here. The sweet potato and the brown sugar is here, and the buttery is all over.
Take a sip of wine now and tell me what you
Oh my.
should know.
It just needs that fatty beef, which is going to be ready, and we're gonna go check in a minute. But we're gonna add a little more of this in there just to get a little more flavor. And that should be it.
I want to try it.
Absolutely. The first try, I had to try it to make sure the flavor is good. Now I can give it to you. I don't want to give you before I try it.
Real teamwork here.
Real we work.
Wow. I can only imagine with the broccoli on the plate with the beef. This is what you want. This is what you want to have on your plate.
Now you can take this.
So good. And it's healthy.
It's healthy. It's
Sweet potato.
You can take this and put it into a beckola, small beckola, whatever size you need. Put it in the fridge, and then Yontif morning, take out 3 things from the fridge. Take out your broccolini, take out your sweet potato, take out your beef and pop everything in the oven to warm up for an hour or so on a low temperature or whatever temperature your oven's set to. You can do a little quicker.
Guys, I want to see pictures from before Yom Tov, how you prepared.
There you go. Let's check on our beef. Perfect. It's not ready. You can't eat yet. But we're ready for the next step.
Look, I'm not surprised.
Ready for the next step. Now, as you can see, all around got nice and crispy. The flavors caramelized. Everything got really nice, and the Maillard reaction got really browned on top.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go ahead.
It's been in the oven for 45 minutes.
Yes, so we did 30 minutes and then another 15 minutes on 400. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add about a cup of water, but try not to put it on the beef because we don't wanna wash off the seasoning. We'll just put it on the side. We are also gonna go ahead and add in about a quarter cup of wine. It's gonna help infuse with this delicious full-bodied wine into the beef. We're gonna go ahead and put in about a third of a cup to the bottom of the pan.
So Yom Tov morning, when you start doing the second, so basically you can do this pre-Yom Tov for 45 minutes and then you can do the other 2 hours.
No, so you don't want to do the 2 hours. You can do the whole thing
Before you.
before Yom Tov. So on Yom Tov, you don't have to do any long process. It's this whole process that we're doing now, you can do before Yom Tov. And then on Yom Tov, you just have to warm it up a little bit. So we have our liquid on the bottom, some water, some delicious wine, and we're gonna cover it. What the water and the wine is gonna do is we're gonna seal it up and it's gonna steam. Steam is very hot, and hot steam breaks down the tendons and it's gonna make it so much softer. Now, we're gonna use some aluminum foil. Just a little tip for people at home that don't know. Maybe you do, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. There's 2 flaps over here on the aluminum foil on each side that comes straight. Push it in.
I sure didn't.
Push it in on both sides, and if it's a good box of silver foil, you won't have any more the roll coming out when you're pulling.
Genius.
The box comes with it, but people don't know it. Little life hack. And I think even Saran Wrap has a lot of boxes have it. You push in these 2 tabs, it holds the roll in place and it doesn't let the roll come out. And we're gonna try to cover it really tight. We're gonna really go around the edges. And we're gonna go put this into a 350-degree oven. We were on 400 till now. Now we're going in for another 2 hours on 350. We did roasting, so we did 45 minutes. Now we're gonna do another 2 hours. After 2 hours, we're gonna check it. We might need to do a little...
It doesn't sound like we're ever gonna eat over here.
Wait. Trust and believe.
I think we're gonna need 2 bottles of wine for this one. 1 bottle for the cooking and 1 bottle for the actually eating.
Wow. It's been 2 hours. So a total cook time for us in this oven was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Moishe's been chewing off this ear for the past 2 hours. Is it ready yet? Is it ready? Wow.
Smells so good. This schmeckt Yom Tov.
Wow. Look at that. Buttery soft, delicious. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take some barbecue sauce and we're gonna glaze it with some barbecue sauce. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to. I like to have that candied finish. Some real nice barbecue sauce. This is that barbecue sauce that when you finish the meal, you have barbecue sauce all over your face and your mustache. Get it all over, all those crispy edges.
Come on.
And we're not done yet. Because we're gonna take this for another 3 minutes, Moishe. We're gonna take this for another 3 minutes. We're gonna put it back uncovered, just like this, into the oven on broil. We want the sweetness in the barbecue sauce, the sugar to caramelize on top of it, and then we're done. It's been 2 minutes.
It's been 4 hours.
It's been 2 minutes on broil. Let's go ahead and take this out of the oven. Oh, wow. Look at that. Now at this point is where you stop and you can put it in the fridge, let it cool down, put it in the fridge and take it out of Yom Tov because now it's ready.
But you make sure you lock the fridge.
Make sure Moishe is not around your fridge. But now it's ready. You can take this right as is right now. Let it cool down. Once it's cool, you put it into the fridge. Yantiv tefri, get yantiv, you have your coffee. Put this back into the oven.
For how long?
Depending on what temperature your oven is set. If your oven is set on a low temperature, like 250, so you want to put it for an hour. And the same thing with the mashed potatoes. You want to put it for like a half an hour. The broccolini only needs 20 minutes, but it's ready. And beautiful. And we are going to go ahead and cut this. You can serve this as is. You can serve it on a tray like this for yantiv. But we're going to go ahead and slice right through this. And we're going to make individual ribs. So you can serve one portion per person.
It's like perfect inside.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It came out really nice.
All right. Now we're ready. We're ready to plate it up. Let's go ahead with our sweet potato mash. We're gonna give a nice dollop straight in the middle. And with our spoon, we're just gonna give it a little flatten out. Just nothing perfect, just like that. Grab our broccolinis that we roasted off. And we're gonna lay them out just like so. Just like that. That delicious crispy garlic in there. And now, for our main, go ahead and lay that rib right over your broccolini. For an extra final touch, if you want, you can just go ahead last minute and just glaze a little bit barbecue sauce over it. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is our sickest main dish idea that you can do in advance. You can cook this everything in advance and have it ready and just warm it up and plate it just like this. And trust me, your family will go bonkers. Now let's go to the sukkah and eat.
The sukkah. Okay? You good?
Top me off a little bit on that.
I can smell the barbecue till here.
All right.
Chaim. So how do we do that?
So, don't need a knife, but we have knives. But so just dig into that beef. Look at that. Just with the fork. Just like that.
Wow.
Look at that.
The garlic on the broccoli with the olive oil, the broccolini.
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 Ni.
Obviously this is before sukkahs, it's not on sukkahs. And I feel like I'm cheating because the food brings me into the yantiv. Wow.
That's.
And there's the one.
I'm speechless.
You see how this big wine is just like.
Now it was a big wine when we started this cooking show, but now it's already been airing out and it's already mellowed, but the flavors are still big and it matches with this big dish. Friends, let us know if you made this dish. Send us some pictures, send us some feedback. Moishe's status, my status, or on Instagram or on WhatsApp, wherever it is, wherever you see this. Send us some feedback. Let us know what you're making or what you want to see us making next.
And I want to say thank you for all the feedback that I am getting, because I get a lot of pictures, a lot of feedbacks, and a lot of phone calls and text messages and WhatsApp. The biggest thank you that we should continue to be able to work with different wineries or different types of foods, or Mechi should be able to come up with different recipes. The more people you tell about our show, the more we can continue and maybe go around the world eventually to cook.
Try different places. So definitely go out there and get some pinch spice in your supermarket, wherever you got it. Also guys, there is the gift box perfect for yantiv. If you want to give somebody a present for yantiv, or you want to give your wife a present for yantiv because she's going to be doing a lot of cooking, definitely you can get it.
And if your wife wants to give you a present, you can come into the wine store.
Exactly. You can get the gift box on Amazon. You can get it on our website, pinchmyspice.com, and also at Peppermill here in Borough Park. Definitely pick up a bottle of Clos Mesorah olive oil, which is delicious, and this phenomenal wine, and have yourself an amazing yantiv and enjoy your wine and spice. Yes.
No chance I'm going back to work today.
Hi.
Not a chance.